Today, we are going to talk about startup growth. If you don't know me, my name is Kaya. I'm one of the founders and the CEO at Slidebean, a venture-funded, profitable, multi-million-dollar startup. One of my proudest achievements is having led our marketing and growth teams since the company was founded back in 2014. As a CEO, you have to get involved in everything, inevitably, but it's been the marketing and growth departments that have become one of my favorite tasks as part of running this company. If you've seen some of our previous videos, you've seen me talk about traction. Traction. Now you maybe understand why I value traction so much. It's not only about getting the metrics you need to raise your round of funding. In the end, funding is just a means to an end. Having a bigger, more profitable business. It's growing your customer base, retaining those customers, and turning them into evangelists that really counts as a successful company. This is how to grow a business. Alright, so in this video, we are going to be covering growth at the early stages, unit economics, basic growth tactics, and finally, the growth marketing or growth hacking mindset. Other topics that we will cover in part 2 of this video are building a marketing team, the basics of SEM, that is Google Ads, and social media marketing, detailed conversion tracking, and finally, content marketing and SEO. Now, why these topics? Because they relate specifically to our own experience, and we consider ourselves experts in most of these. Our company, Slidebean, helps other companies present ideas, either through our automatic AI design platform or by getting our content and design teams involved in writing and structuring presentations for those customers. So even though most of our customers are other businesses, that is a B2B approach, we don't do a lot of traditional sales. Our customers come through us through marketing, not via outbound reach. It's a B2C or business to consumer kind of customer acquisition. So if the type of business you have requires a long sales cycle or a bunch of salespeople, then this video will only cover the demand generation part of your process. Sorry. All right, so enough intro, let's get started. Growth at the early stages. If you are just starting your business, then figuring out your growth is, well, tough. There's little money to spend, the product is still early or unfinished, and convincing people to join or pay is harder. So here are some basics before you even think about growth. First, growth equals product. At this stage, your growth is not only related to your marketing outreach or sales effort, but to the product itself. If you're just starting up, then your product will probably be far, far from perfect. You have to understand that the stuff you learn as you try to position the product, as you try to sell it and expand, should also impact the product itself and the roadmap. So, next up, do not hire an agency for now. Company growth is something that you need to figure out yourself at this stage. The person who is looking at the website conversion rate should be in the same room as the person who designed the landing pages and the person who is picking out which features to develop next. This means that one of your founders or one of your very first hires should be that marketing or growth persona. Like I said, I was that guy for a large portion of our company history while my co-founders focused on the product. And yeah, we were in the same room about 24/7. Next point on the basics of marketing. Growth costs are not an expense. I own a marketing agency back in Costa Rica, and a large portion of our customers come to us thinking of marketing as an expense. They have a budget that they're willing to spend in marketing. Marketing is not an expense, it's an investment. If you measure your efforts correctly, you should be able to determine how spending $1,000 in a campaign will yield $3,000 in sales. If you know these numbers are correct, then spending, meaning investing, $10,000 instead of $1,000 is a no-brainer because you know for a fact that that will translate to $30,000. So we'll revisit this in our unit economics section. Finally, be prepared to spend/invest money. Back in 2013, when we started Slidebean, we were able to acquire our first 5,000 or so customers using mostly free social media advertising. Quality, shareable content went a long way, and it was enough to build an audience that eventually converted and tried our product. Well, forget about that. As a company, you have to pay to play in social media these days. It's an extremely competitive space. Every single brand is trying to compete for attention, and Facebook is greedy. The actual organic reach of a page these days is less than 1%, which means that if you have 100,000 followers, less than 1,000 of them, on average, will see anything that you publish. While you might be able to have early wins in newer platforms, say TikTok, or niche audiences like Reddit, soon enough you'll find yourself in the mainstream platforms, competing for attention and being forced to pay for those impressions. More importantly, marketing is a trial and error game. Some of your experiments will fail, and the faster you can run more tests, the faster you can figure out your growth plan. And it's not free, it's never free. Few companies can get away with free, truly free organic reach. So yeah, it's time to get your wallet ready. In summary, if you're an early stage company, learn to do this yourself. Either you or one of your co-founders should absolutely own your communication. Be prepared to experiment a lot and set aside some money to do it. Once you find a channel that works, double down on it. All right, so let's move on to unit economics. When talking about marketing, your unit economics are the metrics that determine if your campaigns are profitable or not. Okay, so some basic concepts here. Cost of acquisition, CAC or CAC, however you want to call it. That is the cost of bringing in a new customer. If you're calculating the cost of acquisition of a specific campaign, then you should do campaign cost divided by number of customers. If you're calculating your average, your broad company-wide cost of acquisition, then you should also include the cost of your growth team and the platforms that the growth team uses. Next up, cost per sign-up or cost per download. For many businesses with trial periods or freemium business models, a sign-up or app download is very different from a paid customer, so you should keep track of both. Finally, the lifetime value, that is the average revenue that you expect to make from a single customer. On a SaaS company, this is calculated using your retention, estimation, or your churn. On an e-commerce store, this is calculated using the average order size, the average margin that you will make from that order, and the percentage of customers that make repeat purchases. The most basic rule of marketing is that your LTV should be higher than your cost of acquisition. That's pretty obvious. But depending on the industry, you might want to aim for a 2x or 3x on your cost of acquisition to lifetime value ratio. Is this too dense? Well, here's a funny video from our team for you to take a break.
I wonder what you get if you type in kaya.com.
It's a contraceptive diaphragm.
Kaya should always be used with a water-based contraceptive gel.
Kaya fits about 80% of all women.
If you notice your kaya is damaged in some way after intercourse, please visit your doctor immediately.
Okay, carry on. Let's do growth tactics. My favorite book on growth is called Traction. I'll link that in the description. The premise is very simple. There exist in the world only 19 channels for any company to acquire customers. That's it. And if you know what those channels are, you can pick and create campaigns around them. Those channels are viral marketing. That is your ability to grow from customers referring you to other customers. Public relations, or PR. The art of getting your name in blogs and newspapers, TV, or press publications. Unconventional PR, commonly known as publicity stunts. Search engine marketing. Those are the ads on search engines like Google, Bing, or even YouTube. Social and display ads. That's your Instagram, Facebook, Twitter type of ads based on a user's interest. Offline ads, that's TV spots, radio, commercials, billboards, infomercials, newspaper, and magazine ads. Search engine optimization, or SEO, the very complex art of ranking your website in Google search. We'll cover some of that on part 2 of this video. Content marketing. If you're watching this video, you've witnessed and you've fallen victim of our content marketing campaigns. Email marketing, not a lot to add here. Engineering as marketing, that's using apps and tech products for growth, like the bank that makes a loan calculator to get customers and leads. Targeting blogs, which you could even translate to influencer marketing, getting people with niche audiences to talk about you. Business development, pretty obvious there. Sales, pretty obvious again. Affiliate programs, so offering rewards in exchange for your customers referring other customers. Existing platforms, so leveraging your presence and relevance in existing platforms, such as figuring out how to be promoted or featured on the App Store or the Chrome Store. Trade shows, not a fan of those, but they're an option. Offline events, meetups and such. Speaking engagements, community building, and that's it. 19 channels of growth. Are there any other channels of growth not covered there? I really don't think so. I think they covered most of them. So the book elaborates on each one of them and gives you some ideas on successful campaigns from different companies. This brings us to our last topic for today, growth hacking. I don't know if the internet has a definition for what growth hacking is. My definition is mastering the art and science of coming up with campaigns for these 19 different channels, measuring the unit economics of those campaigns diligently, using the data to make quick decisions to pull the plug or double down on campaigns, optimizing copy, design, campaign concepts, and landing pages to maximize that conversion, and finally, working with the product team to turn those marketing metrics and results into product changes. The growth hacker is a bit of a mythical being, but by no means impossible to find. And yeah, you should either become one or capture one early on. The mindset is simple. Test, test again, rinse, and repeat. Repeat on the campaigns that worked, of course. So next week, we're gonna be looking into more specific examples of growth hacks you can do as you grow your business. So hit that subscribe button to stay tuned. Also, if you want to take our platform for a spin, you can use this code to get 3 free months on any of our plans. And we'll see you next week.